And we've got this question on Reddit. Question is, wife was denied 2 additional days off for honeymoon after already postponing a year. Can we make her job reconsider? This is one of those issues that's becoming a bigger issue in America. Whereas we simply don't, and I talk about we, meaning employees, job seekers, we don't have the PTO, the time off, to really do the things that we want to do away from work. The standard has quickly become, if you are working here, you are here for life. Now, obviously, this is not the case, and this is not the case with everybody. But I have talked to many job seekers who are in a situation to where they don't get much PTO. And the PTO they do get doesn't really do them very well, because they'll leave for a week and then they'll come back only to find out that nobody's been doing their job. That really all that's happened is they've had a week of work mount up. And so because they've had a week of work mount up, they have to spend the next 3 weeks catching up. And so were they really on PTO? No, honestly, no. And honestly, this is a situation that really needs to be taken care of. Okay, let's see what they wrote here. Me and my wife recently got married last year. She does not get much vacation time, so we decided it would be best to wait a year to take our honeymoon after some pushback from her boss. We decided to book our honeymoon for our anniversary. Recently, my wife put in her request for 2 weeks to put for a PTO 8 months in advance, and it was approved. Now that we are 6 months out from our honeymoon, we just found out that the country they're going to is having a holiday and it's kind of screwing things up. When looking at flights, if we rebook the flight to leave 2 days later, it would save us $600 and we would be able to enjoy this local holiday. Me and my wife asked our jobs for an extra 2 days off, and I was approved, but my wife was instantly denied. Her office manager was very rude and condescending. My wife felt as if she tried to shame her for requesting these 2 extra days off for her honeymoon. Her boss said she was lucky to even have gotten the 2 weeks approved, that she was too valuable to receive this time off. Anybody say abuse? This is abuse. Now, I know if you've been approved for time off, approved for PTO, and then somebody says, hey, can I have 2 extra days because I really need it? And they say no. Well, then I guess you better make sure you show up. But to say, well, you're too damn valuable, you shouldn't have got to PTO in the first place, this is wrong, and it's abuse. Frankly, what needs to happen in our country is people need to grow a backbone when it comes to fighting back against her employer. In this situation, instead of saying, can I have 2 more days off? You need to say, sorry, we can't make it for another 2 days. I'll be back on Wednesday. And in fact, I'm going to take Wednesday off too, because I'm going to recover from the plane trip back. It's my honeymoon. I'm going to enjoy it. I will be back to work when I can. What's the worst thing that can happen? They get mad. They fire you. Then you won't be there at all. See, when I was growing up in a public school, one of the things that I recognized that was happening in the K through 12 system, and I see it even more now than I did then, is that we're all taught to be obedient. We're all taught to follow the rules. Don't run in the hallway. Don't if you need to go to the bathroom, raise your hand. That sort of thing. And as far as having rules and establishing boundaries, I completely understand. But we, along the way, have forgotten that teachers are not our masters. The teachers are people who happen to be adults. They do not run our lives. They set the boundaries for school, but they do not run our lives. But what has happened is, as we've gone from the education system, the public school system, to the workplace, is that we've traded the teachers for our bosses. And so now we basically look at the bosses as our masters, as the people who run our lives. And this is the thing that is killing us. We cannot have this any longer. We must at some point be able to say, that's cool. I'm not doing that. And if you don't like it, I'm out of here. No, I know. It's really hard to find a job right now. Regardless of what the economist says or the people on TV say, It's really hard to find a job. I get it. But we cannot continue to be put in a situation to where it's either we are homeless or we put up with abuse. It's not right, and it needs to be fixed. And I guarantee you this. I guarantee you this, that when this person returns, when she returns back from the honeymoon, there's going to be a pile of papers waiting for her. Figuratively, of course, it's not really paper anymore. There's going to be a pile of work available. There's going to be 300 emails. There's going to be customers who are going to be pissed saying, how come you haven't responded for 3 weeks? And that's what's going to happen. Nobody's done their work. Why? Because employers only run on skeleton crews now. Only skeleton crews. They don't run off of logic principles any longer. They no longer say, oh, we've got 3 people who do this job. Let's always make sure that there's somebody available that could pick up the slack in case somebody is gone. No, we don't do that. No. Now we actually have 2 classes of employee. We have the class of employee who gets to enjoy the benefits of their job, and we have the class of employee who gets crapped on. And I tell you what, you know, I mean, I'm sure these people are not enjoying their honeymoon one bit. They're probably trying, but it's destroying them. It's destroying their lives. They're going to look back on this honeymoon and say, that sucked. All right, let's keep reading. As far as she is aware, her company doesn't have a policy against taking more than 2 weeks off at a time, but one of the 2 extra days she requested would be unpaid. Again, my wife does not believe her company has a policy stating she cannot take unpaid time off. The job market is very bad where we are, but my wife is looking, although she would ideally not like to leave this job. Does anyone have any suggestions on a workaround or a way to approach her boss/company and see if they can reconsider? I know the right answer would be to suck it up and not take the extra 2 days, but the whole situation just rubbed us both the wrong way, especially after postponing our honeymoon for a year to accommodate her job. And we have not taken a vacation since our wedding. Yeah, simple as that. It's quit. It's just a quit, all right? They don't care about her that much. I mean, I know it sounds easy, and I know it's just me. It's easy to say from sitting here behind the camera, just quit your job. But you really have no other recourse. If they're going to treat you this way, you should quit. But is there something else that's maybe going on here? Because this is a little odd. I can't help but to think that now they don't say what company it is. I can't help but think that there's something else going on. We live in America is split into 2 right now culturally. We have the political half that believes everything is political, that everything should be viewed through the lens of us versus them. And then we have the other half of the country that's focused on living, that's focused on surviving and focused on growing a family and enjoying life and having some joy in what we experience. But the part of the country that does not believe in joy, they don't believe in love, they don't believe in life, is that when they see people get married, they go, oh, we can't have that. You're not supposed to do that. There's something else going on here. If they really like this person that much, they would have said, oh man, take an extra week for your honeymoon. There needs to be a manager that steps up and says, guys, this is wrong. Let them take an extra week. Let them enjoy their honeymoon. But they're not. They're not doing that, which means they don't like you. They don't like this person. Now, all we have to go off of here is the fact that they're on honeymoon. They get married. They're doing the traditional American thing. So is there a little bit of bias against the traditional American thing? Are you against traditional couples? Do you have a problem with this? Is that what's really going on? And the horrible thing about living in America where there are 2 different philosophies is that now we have no idea. We have no idea if you're being biased or if you're really just trying to follow company policy and just being a real jerk about it. And so what's really going on here is you likely have a company, you likely have management that just plain doesn't like you. They don't approve of what you're doing. You don't fit their standards. And the last thing they want to do is to support you. It's time to quit. It's time to move on. Show up the next week. If they don't like the 2 days, then you show up on Monday the following week. And they'll say, well, you're fired. We fired you last week. And you'll say, thank you. Take the rest of the week off. Don't even think about it. Don't take the phone calls. Don't do anything. If they're going to be abusive in this way, you need to make a decision and you need to decide what's best for you. Because I'll tell you what, it's not going to get any better from here. You're going to show up, and for the next 3 months, you're going to hear the whispers. Oh, she was gone for a long time. Yeah. Oh, how come they get so much? How come they get all the perks? You're going to hear all the crap about how awful of an employee you are for being gone. If you're really that good, they would step up and they would show you how much they care about you and your wedding and how much they appreciate you by extending your PTO and letting you take a longer honeymoon. But they're not going to. They're not going to because they don't like you. That's it for today. I'm 𝐸𝐵. This is 𝐽obforno. If you have any questions, send me an email at questions@jobforno.com. And as always, choose skills over money.